First, discussing how publishers and libraries are working together, we have Pamela Millar. Pamela heads customer relations and research at BookNet Canada, where she's responsible for the publication of studies such as the Canadian book market and the Canadian book consumer.
So I'm here to talk to you today about a couple of projects that are relevant for both publishers and libraries. Over the past year, have primarily been working on two new projects. The first is Lone Stars, which is a whole new project that's integrated into Catalyst. And second is the one that Neha mentioned, which is the inclusion of library data into sales data. So Lone Stars is a joint project between the Canadian Urban Library Council and BookNet Canada. And if you're familiar with it, it's similar to Library Reads out of the US. So how it works is library staff can vote on pre-publication adult fiction and nonfiction titles. Voting takes place in Catalyst, and then on a monthly basis, we're going to total up and release a list of the top 10 forthcoming titles as selected by library staff from across Canada. So this list will be made publicly available and can be used by frontline library staff to promote new content to library patrons. I know in the US, where they've had the program running for some time, libraries have used these lists to make displays and to market the book in a whole number of ways. So to give you a bit of background, the launch of Lone Stars has been governed by a steering committee of representatives from CULC, BookNet, numerous libraries from the Ontario Library Association and the BC Library Association, and a number of publishers and vendors. Some of the main reasons we're interested in initiating this project is that it leverages the expertise of librarians in a way that helps with discoverability. We also have a great infrastructure in Catalyst, and this has allowed us to build on that infrastructure, all while promoting good, rich metadata that publishers are sending in their Onyx files. So, how does it work? As already mentioned, voting is going to take place in Catalyst, and we've provided access to eligible titles in a number of ways. The first is we've created a Lone Stars landing page that you can reach by finding the link on the sidebar of the Catalyst homepage, or you can also find it in the list of publishers. On the landing page, we've included a set of catalogs that pull forward titles that are publishing in the upcoming months. So right now we've produced adult fiction and nonfiction catalogs for May, June, and July. So just as an aside, putting together this presentation was a little bit tough because voting closed at midnight last night. So as much as I wanted to do this presentation, I did not want to do it after midnight last night. So you're going to find that when I'm actually referencing May, it should be June. So anytime you hear May, just pretend it's actually June. So this is a view of the May fiction catalog, otherwise known as the June fiction catalog. And in this you'll find all titles publishing in May across all publishers that are in Catalyst. So this Lone Stars page gives one central place to be able to access all content for that month. So on this screen you can see that eligible titles display a vote button below the title information. There's also the option to access content by publisher, and then when we drill into a publisher's catalog, you can see that eligible titles have a vote button available. So it's not on every one of the titles on this screen. The button is only available to library type accounts and for users who are logged into Catalyst. That's when that button displays. So I can place my vote from this screen, or I can actually drill into a title record, and the vote button is also available there. Then by clicking on the vote button, this opens up a window where the library staff can actually place their vote. But it also allows them to include an optional review of the book. So this can be in the form of a short review that they actually input into this screen, or if they've produced a review that's elsewhere online, they can put a link into that review, the review that was previously written. Reviews are going to be used on the Lone Stars website, and we'll be passing those reviews back to the publishers that make it to the final top 10 list. We certainly don't have reviews on all titles, but the ones we've been receiving have been excellent. I think so far we've received about 20 reviews on 150 nominated titles. So give me a second to look at those ones. One of the biggest challenges we've had has been getting galleys into the hands of librarians. We want librarians to read the books before they vote, or at least read some of the book before they vote. So some time ago, we partnered with NetGalley to provide links directly from Catalyst to titles that are in NetGalley. And we've continued to work with this partnership, and we now have over 1,500 titles that are in both Catalyst and NetGalley at any given time. We're also rolling out some new functionality into Catalyst. I believe it's going live next week, and it allows library staff to make ARC requests directly from Catalyst to a publisher. So this is something that's also going to be available for retailers and media. So this is functionality that Catalyst publishers can choose to opt into, and they can decide the top-level subject areas where they want to offer ARCs. And this Read Me button will display on forthcoming titles. And by clicking it, you can see the Request at NetGalley link, so that's if that link is available on that title, and the option that it can bring up an email that allows a direct email request from the librarian to the publisher. So Carol's going to go into a little more detail on that. So for librarians, this project allows for you access to find new content. It's also a great opportunity to help in creating a curated list of forthcoming titles that can be used for your readers' advisory staff. And for publishers, I think this project opens up some great marketing opportunities for the library market. For library reads in the US, some publishers have really taken up the cause, and they're not only promoting books where they were library reads finalists, but they're also pushing out ARCs to library staff and asking them to consider casting a vote for their title. They're kind of doing some preemptive lobbying for their titles. In addition to making galleys available, you can think about promoting titles with galley giveaways. You can run Twitter or Facebook contests or market directly to your library mailing list. By saying to library staff, consider making this book a Lone Star, it's a great way to promote new and upcoming authors. So we'll be putting together the inaugural finalists over the next 2 weeks. So it'll be out within the next 2 weeks. And voting is now open for the May list, which are titles that are publishing in June. So we're always working 1 month ahead. But any librarians that are placing a vote can vote on any available future title. We're not just limiting to that month, so it's any forthcoming title. Librarians are really excited about this project. We've been seeing great uptake, and we have over 75 library systems signed up for Catalyst now. So just a couple of takeaways for publishers. Think about how to best promote galleys and new content to librarians. Librarians are particularly asking for Canadian authors. I've been asked quite a few times about why there aren't more Canadian galleys available. So whether it's available but not in NetGalley, I'm not sure why, but that's something that actually I've been asked quite a few times now. Think about promoting potential Lone Stars candidates, so titles that you feel might have a certain appeal to the library market. And remember that titles need to be in Catalyst to get votes, so be sure to get your catalogs posted early. For librarians, check out catalogs and galleys that are available through Catalyst. Be sure to sign up for the Lone Stars mailing list, which will keep you up to date and remind you to keep voting. And remember that you can vote more than once, so get reading and cast your votes. So, kind of switching gears a little bit, another project I wanted to briefly tell you about is our library data collection project. So we're looking at starting to collect weekly holds and circulation data from public libraries across Canada and integrate it into the new version of sales data. From there, both librarians and publishers would be able to pull reports looking at library and retail data. We're seeing some of the benefits of integrating this data into sales data as aggregated data can be used to provide insight that helps in strategic planning for libraries, library wholesalers, and publishers. Circulation data can be used to conduct Canadian market analysis, so we can look at genre, region, author, format. By combining retailer sales and library circulation stats, we can look at starting to compile a Canadian most read list. And we will be able to produce a prospector-like gap analysis of a library's inventory. So that will allow libraries to compare their inventory against either other libraries in their region, or maybe they want to compare against libraries of a similar size in other parts of the country. So it'll give them the option to do both of those things. In requirement gathering sessions, so we ran pretty extensive requirement gathering sessions with both libraries and publishers. And what libraries talked about was that they wanted to be able to analyze genre holdings. So they expressed particular interest in doing this for children's books. They indicated they'd like to be able to look at the percentage of books they've purchased that are Canadian. They want to compare sales trends to library circulation to see where collections may need to be developed. They're interested in looking at helping with patron-driven acquisition. So when there are patron requests, they can get some background information to see how a title's performing in the market. So it's going to help them in making the decision to purchase that title. And finally, again, in the area of gap analysis, they want to be able to review their library holdings to forthcoming titles that are listed in Catalyst. So a couple of different places that they want to be able to compare their data. As Neha touched on earlier, once we're collecting library data, it'll be integrated into the new version of sales data. Right now, we're working with a couple of the larger ILS vendors, so the vendors that provide the library systems, in order to get them to customize their systems so that we can get that data out in an automated way. We've gone through this process before in the work that we've done with retailers and POS systems, and we know this step does take some time, but things are moving, and good news is that all the libraries we've been talking to are very keen to participate, and they see a real tangible benefit in submitting their data. So stay tuned, and more information on the project will be forthcoming. So that's it. Thank you.